So what if I told you that becoming a great data engineer has way less to do with the tools you master and pretty much everything to do with, well, rewiring your brain? Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating story that argues exactly that.
Okay, let's just jump right in. It's so easy to think that to get good at a technical job, you just need to learn the latest software, the newest programming language. But the person who wrote this had this huge revelation. The real bottleneck, it wasn't the tools at all. The real mountain to climb was changing his entire way of thinking.
So how do you do it? Well, it wasn't through online courses or fancy certificates, but through people. This whole story is built around 4 key lessons from 4 different mentors, and each one unlocked a totally new way of seeing the world.
All right, so just to be clear, this isn't going to be some technical tutorial. Think of it more as a journey beyond just lines of code and more toward understanding the bigger picture. So let's get into lesson 1.
This first lesson is kind of the bedrock for everything else that follows. It came from the person who first taught him how to code. But funny enough, the most important lesson he learned had nothing to do with syntax.
I mean, think about it. This advice is so counterintuitive, right? Especially in the tech world, where salaries can get pretty crazy. But his first mentor gave him a different kind of compass for his career. Don't chase the money. Chase the knowledge. The money? Oh, it'll follow.
And here's the really crucial part. Tools and frameworks, they come and go, they become obsolete. But that fundamental knowledge, that deep curiosity, that stuff compounds over time. It's like compound interest for your brain. So choosing to learn over just earning isn't really a short-term sacrifice. It's a long-term investment that is going to pay off again and again.
All right, that brings us to the second lesson, which is all about shifting our focus. We're moving from an internal mindset, curiosity, to an external one, observation. And this piece of wisdom came from a seasoned industry veteran.
So he asks this super straightforward question, the kind we've all probably asked when we're trying to break into a new field. He was probably expecting a list of skills or maybe some books to read. But the answer he got was, let's just say, a little unusual.
Go to Walmart. Yep, you heard that right. Not a tech conference, not a coding boot camp, just a regular store. So obviously confused, he went, walked the aisles, probably bought some snacks, and then came back wondering what on earth that had to do with anything. And this is where it all clicks, that big aha moment. The mentor basically prompted him to think about how Walmart would model all this as data. And suddenly, a simple store just completely transformed. An aisle wasn't just an aisle anymore, it was a products table. A shopper wasn't just a person, they were an entry in a user's table. And every single beep with the checkout, that was a continuous event stream. He literally stopped seeing a store and started seeing a database, a model of reality itself. Okay, so we've gone from chasing knowledge to modeling the world. The third lesson scales that thinking way up. It's about moving beyond modeling just one single thing, like a store, to understanding how these incredibly complex, interconnected systems actually work. So this piece of feedback came from his boss after he'd spent weeks redesigning a project. Now, he thought changing his design so drastically meant he'd failed the first time around, but his boss completely reframed it for him. Constant change wasn't a sign of making mistakes. It was a sign of deep thinking.
And wow, that changes everything, doesn't it? Engineering isn't about getting it perfect on the first try. It's an evolution. Every design review, every tweak, every iteration, it all becomes part of a conversation that's just moving the solution forward.
And to really drive this point home, his mentor gave him another one of those weird exercises. Just observe the city during his daily walk. And look what happened. All these abstract, techie concepts in distributed systems, suddenly they became real. Traffic signals, those were just coordination protocols. Street bottlenecks, classic performance bottlenecks. A police officer directing traffic, that's a failover, a manual override. The city itself became this living, breathing, massive distributed system, right in front of his eyes.
All right, the fourth and final lesson. This one gets deeply personal. It's about an internal battle that, let's be honest, so many of us face, no matter how skilled we are. Imposter syndrome.
I mean, this is such a relatable feeling. That quiet little whisper in your head telling you that you're a fraud, that you just got lucky. He was living this every day, constantly doubting if he even deserved to be there.
Well, his boss noticed his hesitation and stopped him after a meeting. He didn't give some big pep talk. He just stated a fact. If you're sitting here, you're already good enough. It was simple, it was direct, and it was incredibly powerful. You've already earned your seat at the table.
And here's why this matters so much. A huge part of engineering is making decisions with incomplete information.
And doubt can paralyze you. The goal isn't to somehow become fearless, it's to develop the confidence to keep thinking and keep moving forward in spite of the fear.
So, let's tie all 4 of these powerful lessons together. What happens when you combine them into a single, cohesive way of looking at things?
So you can see how each little piece of advice was actually a gateway to a much bigger core principle. Don't chase money becomes focus on curiosity. Go to Walmart becomes learn to model the world. Hearing that changing your design is good, that means iterate relentlessly. And being told you're good enough lets you believe in your ability to grow. And at the heart of all of it is this one central concept, system thinking. It's the ability to stop looking at all the individual little parts and to start seeing the whole picture, how everything connects, how it interacts, and how it all changes over time.
So, here's the ultimate takeaway. He realized that this way of thinking isn't just for a job title. It's a way of understanding the entire world. It turns out, it's not really about data. It's about the human and the technical systems that generate that data in the first place.
And that leaves us with a final thought, which is really more of a challenge. This isn't just a theory, it's a practice. Every street, every store, every conversation you have is a system just waiting to be understood. So the real question isn't just how to become a data engineer, it's what system in your own life are you going to start